You think people leave over taxes? Nah, they're leaving because the social contract snapped. Today, we're counting down 10 states where neighbors stopped trusting neighbors and the vibe went cold. You'll hear how policy fights, border rhetoric, and culture wars killed day-to-day trust. We'll map the great disconnect and the big sort. Why some folks feel like foreigners on their own block. By the end, you'll see why cheaper rent can't fix a trust deficit, and why once that bond breaks, moves aren't just likely, they're permanent. You're not ready for which region shows the deepest freeze. Number 1, California. You think the issue is rent, but here's the catch. The surcharge is social. People pay in burnout and side-eye. The vibe flipped from "we're building" to "you're violating." HOA emails read like citations. Next door feels like public shaming with timestamps. Tech money stacks, public life glitches, rolling blackouts, wildfire seasons, and policy U-turns make neighborhoods feel like a permanent protest. Parents fell out over school closures and masks. PTA chats turned courtrooms. Insurers pull back after fires, and that breaks trust faster than a lease hike. So, folks tap out. The big sort kicks in. They chase places where crime talk isn't a street fight and zoning wars aren't family feuds. California bleeds talent. New York bleeds patience, for a different reason. Number 2, New York. New York sells you proximity. The surcharge is the friction tax. Rules on rules, constant enforcement, and non-stop cultural crossfire. It's real. It's happening. Post-pandemic, return-to-office demands collide with subway safety anxiety. Sidewalk politics turns dog leashes, scooters, even garbage bags into debates. Old neighborhood codes got swapped for algorithmic outrage. Let that sink in. Domestic outflow is steady. Mid-income households peel off to suburbs or Florida. Small businesses complain about whiplash regulations and retail theft worries. School zoning fights sour block-level trust. Here's the thing. When institutions feel arbitrary, people detach. This is the big sort in motion. Folks aren't fleeing the cold. They're fleeing errands that feel like performance reviews. If New York drains on contact, Illinois drains on confidence. Number 3, Illinois. Chicago still dazzles, but middle-class families treat the state like a starter apartment. Get in, get out. Here's the thing. The bill feels unstable. Pension headlines stack. School funding angst sits on every kitchen table. Safety narratives loop across counties. Property taxes bite hardest in the collar counties, where escrow jumps like surge pricing. Outbound migration isn't a blip. It's a pattern. Debates over crime legislation turn block chats into tribunals. Small towns watch graduates leave and not boomerang. Long-term fiscal uncertainty drains trust in future services, libraries, parks, pensions. So the big sort kicks in. Indiana and Tennessee look predictable, with norms people can set their watch to. You paid. Then the rules moved. Illinois fears the math. New Jersey fears the maze. Number 4, New Jersey. New Jersey has the map hack. Location, schools, real bagels. But here's the catch. The rules feel like a lifestyle. The friction tax is daily, from permits to parking to politics. It's real. It's happening. Micro-regulations and property taxes stack, while commuter culture never fully decompressed. Domestic outflow heads to PA, FL, and NC. School board showdowns get nasty. Facebook group drama becomes civic life, with neighbors policing lawns and language. Zoning battles turn personal fast, and costs jump without warning. Social trust research says constant compliance checks create low-trust communities. The big sort kicks in. Buyers pick places where neighbors won't audit their lives. People pay for peace. New Jersey enforces norms. Massachusetts intellectualizes them. Number 5, Massachusetts. Brainpower paradise, sure. But here's the catch. A lot of residents feel like the badge scan never ends. If you're not elite coded, you fade into the wallpaper. Every room has a gatekeeper. Every process has a pre-screen. High achievement culture turns civic life into a leaderboard. Zoning chokes new neighbors, and the MBTA Communities Act backlash shows how hard towns fight to freeze the map. Schooling debates still sting from the pandemic era. Daycare waitlists, packed doctor queues, climbing rent. Basic life feels members only. Trust drops when systems filter instead of welcome. So the big sort kicks in. Families hop to New Hampshire and Maine for lighter screening and friendlier norms. If Massachusetts filters, Louisiana fragments. Number 6, Louisiana. Food, music, soul. So why the departures? Here's the catch. Life feels like a roulette wheel. Weather, insurance, politics, spin, spin, spin. FEMA flood map updates keep shifting the goalposts, and every change means new costs or new rules. Let that sink in. Hurricanes stack, insurers exit or spike premiums. Families face rebuild or leave decisions after every storm. Coastal parishes lose people, then businesses, then services. Crime fear slows urban recovery. The economy leans on volatile sectors, so paychecks feel wobbly. When basic protections feel unstable, community ties snap. The big sort kicks in. Families choose inland states where risk feels measurable. It's not lack of pride, it's exhaustion. You can't build roots on shifting ground. Number 7, West Virginia. Mountains, tight towns, deep loyalty. Here's the catch. The quiet pattern is brutal. Kids leave for work, then parents follow later. The bonds don't break, the ladders do. Post-coal reality means fewer rungs. The labor force shrinks. Healthcare access gaps widen. Schools struggle to feed a pipeline that no longer lands a job. Culture wars fill the silence and turn small towns into echo chambers. The overdose crisis shatters trust between neighbors and institutions. University and hospital cuts signal retreat. So, people choose metros with opportunity density and a network they can actually plug into. That's the big sort. Leaving isn't betrayal. It's survival when the ladder's gone missing. If West Virginia feels abandoned, Wyoming feels optional. Number 8, Wyoming. Wide open, low taxes, big skies. Sounds perfect until you need a village. That's the twist. Extreme sparsity means thin services and 2-hour drives for basics. Social circles lock up fast. Newcomers get a closed-door friendliness, polite, not inclusive. Integration crawls because bumping into people rarely happens. The population inching along mirrors that pace. Healthcare deserts are real, and good luck finding a specialist without crossing half the state. Then housing flips you. Resort towns hoard supply, pricing out workers. Political monotony turns off moderates who want pluralism. Belonging needs repeated casual contact. In hyper-low-density places, that's scarce. So the big sort selects out anyone craving variety. Wyoming works if your community travels with you. If it doesn't, isolation wins. Number 9, Delaware. On paper, Delaware is efficient, low taxes, corporate-friendly. But here's the catch. Residents say the people math doesn't add up. The state runs like a filing cabinet. Streets feel like an afterthought. Net move patterns show churn without deep attachment. Small state politics means everyone knows everyone, until you don't. School district fights get personal. Development meetings turn into proxy wars. Commuter culture empties towns at 6 p.m., so public life thins out fast. Beach towns run on seasonality, splitting locals and weekender economies. Corporate perks don't translate into street-level vibrancy. When public life feels transactional, trust fades. The big sort nudges families to PA or MD for identity and school fit. It's efficient. People don't stay for spreadsheets. Number 10, Nebraska. Nice isn't enough. Affordable, safe, friendly. Sounds like a steal. But here's the catch. Newcomers whisper it's polite at the door, distant at the table. You'll get a smile, not a group chat. Let that sink in. Omaha and Lincoln feel like islands, while the plains run by different codes. Schools, social policy, development. Young professionals hit limits fast. Fewer venues, thinner networks, weekend déjà vu. Church-based circles can be kind and closed at the same time. Stagnant inflow despite low costs says a lot. Universities graduate talent that drifts away. Polarized fights over education and public health rattle small-town trust. Weather fatigue becomes a lifestyle tax. So the big sort kicks in. A cheap mortgage can't replace real friends.